They have not the right to read the Bible. Who read the Bible before the modern times? It was a very, very important Jewish sect that the name was Karaite. You know what is Karaite? Karaite. I think that in English we're saying Karaite, no? Karaitis. Karaitis is a very important Jewish sect. I don't know if to call it Jewish sect, a monotheistic sect in Jerusalem, very, very strong. And they read the Bible as the first book of their identity. The second group that read the Bible before modernity was, where? Who? Huh? Protestant. They jumped on the Bible as the beginning of their religion, because they are the really children of Israel, you know, the Protestant. You know it. I believe that there are people here, really children of Israel, from Protestant origin, no? I don't see very clear, but I believe. I don't know how to define somebody that is a real Protestant. Even a Jew, I don't arrive to identify it immediately. Now, the Protestants were the second group that read seriously the Bible, and the third one was the Zionists. In the second half of the 19th century, at least from the end of this century, Zionists started to read the book not as a theological book, but as a historical book. You see, all my education passed in Israel. When I was 7 years old, I studied the Bible in a secular school, not in a religious school. I studied the Bible as what? As a history. History of my people, the Jewish people. You can imagine it, from 7 years old till the degree of the high school in the end, in 18, everybody in Israel is studying every week. Before the English language, before mathematics, before history, it is the Bible. By the way, in last years, they decided to start it in the first class, to be sure that people will know that they belong to the Jewish people. A month ago, I read that they thinking to put the Bible in the kindergarten. They don't know to read, but we can read before them who they are. You understand? It's very important. Especially in this world that national identity, national culture started to be decomposed. Then it's much more sure to read the Bible to children in the kindergarten. It's not a joke, by the way. They didn't decide yet if to do it in the kindergarten or not, but it's very near to happen. Now, the Bible became the basic of the history of the Jew. In the 90s, I mean more or less 20 years ago, Israeli archaeologist. This is a New York accent. I have an Israeli accent in English. Any archaeologist, okay? Israeli archaeologists, the good Zionists, started to discover that a lot of things in the Bible, most of the things in the Bible, are legend and has not a real historical basic. I will not come in too much, but because if I'm telling all the book, you will not buy it. By the way, you can wait to the paperback, no? Not to, okay. I used to buy always paperback. No, but I'm sorry that I said it. Anyway, Israeli diggers of the land of Israel discover that the exodus, the famous exodus of the Jew, exodus of the Jew, going out from Egypt, didn't happen. The exodus didn't happen. It's terrible, no? You know why it's terrible? Very difficult for everybody? There is Pesach. You know what is Pesach? In this holiday, very important Jewish holiday, you can imagine that exodus didn't exist. Why to make this holiday in Pesach? Now, not only the exodus, by the way, there is a lot of reasons that were proved the exodus couldn't be. in my book, I come into details, but you have to understand the Exodus is supposed to be in the 13th cycle before Jesus Christ. Okay? 13. In that time, the Egyptian Empire exists also in Canaan. Then Moses took out the Jew from Egypt to bring them back to Egypt, because Canaan was Egypt. You understand that? The David and Solomon kingdom didn't exist. It was a little teeny kingdom around Jerusalem of David, maybe. But it's true that it wasn't a kingdom unifying Israel and Judah together, great one, like it's described in the Bible, that is telling in the Bible. Anyway, the Bible lost a lot of credibility because of our archaeology in Israel. I started the book trying to confront the all the new document about the Bible with the Zionism, the way that they constructed the Jewish national history. And I wanted to finish with it, to make a little book about it. And I remember the day that I started to become interested in another chapter, very important, of constructing the national consciousness or national memory of the Jew, and especially of the Israelis. It was the exile. I'm sure that a lot of people sitting here are sure the Jewish were exiled from Palestine after the revolt of 70, after the destruction of the Second Temple. No? Jews were exiled from this. Everybody knows it in Israel, in New York, especially in New York. No? Sorry? You know, some people say that the exile happened in 70. The others say that the exile started in 135 in the revolt of Bar Kokhba. Now, I started to dig a little bit the subject. And I discovered, to make it simple, because I see that there are people here that are interested about the subject and knows about the subject. The Israeli didn't, the Jewish didn't, the Romans didn't exile the Jewish from Judah. Now, you doubt about it. No? You think that the Jewish were exiled, no? Now, it's very interesting that I was looking for books, research books, that are speaking about the exile of the Jew. In the first century after Jesus Christ, I didn't find even one book. You can imagine it? One of the most important events in the Jewish history didn't happen. The Romans didn't expel Jew from Judah. How come? How come? Not in 70, not in 135. No, I don't ask you. I'm happy that you know something about it. Then most Jews were dead, but not exiled. Okay, okay. Most Jews were dead, but not exiled. Then exile didn't happen. They died. Sorry.
Can you die in exile?
Sorry?
Can you die in exile?
Let's let him continue.
Now, then, I repeat, no exile, even one book, is not speaking about the exile of the Jew from Judah. Now, in the population, in the collective memory, even on our money in the pocket, it's written that we were exiled. We, the Jews, were exiled from Judah. You know, we have the 50 shekels. It's not $50, it's $10, I think, no? More or less. Our $10, there is the inscription of Agnon saying that we were exiled from Jerusalem, from Judah, by the Roman, by Titus. Titus. And everybody in Israel is sure that we were exiled from Judah. In Rome, there is a gate that you see there, the menorah, you know, the menorah, with people holding the menorah. When I was a child, in my textbook, it was written, in this gate in Rome, you see Jewish holding the menorah going out to the exile. 3 months ago, our Prime Minister, Bibi Netanyahu, went to Rome to meet his friend Berlusconi, a good friend, by the way. After meeting Berlusconi and all the girlfriends and all this, he came to the gate. No, it's not a joke. He came to the gate. He took a photo with the gate like this, and it was written in the journals that he is standing near the gate that showed that the Jewish people were exiled from Israel, from the land. Now, one of the things that I didn't notice when I was a child, that the guys that holding the menorah don't have beards. And they have a very short robes. You know, like here, it was very, very fashioned in the Roman soldiers. Very nice robes and without beard. The Jewish has a beard, even in that time. The Romans didn't have a beard. I am sure that Bibi Netanyahu in the photo didn't think about it. That the photo is about Roman soldiers taking the thing that they robbed from the temple and going it to Rome. Jewish were not expelled. A lot of them were killed. There is not numbers, but we know that most of the historians of the antiquity, most of the historians exaggerate with numbers. I try to show it, I will not come into the problem. You can put away 1 0 in all numbers of the all the historians of the old time. 1 0. No, mister, not Shoah after the revolt. You know why? Because 65 years after the revolt of Bar Kokhba, Judah became the place, the basic of one of the achievements, the most important achievements of the Jewish tradition, of Jewish, ideologically, a Jewish religion. I'm speaking about the Mishnah. You heard about the Mishnah? A part of you, Mishnah. Before the Talmud, Mishnah, Mishnah, not Mishnah. The Mishnah. It was written 200 years. 65 years after the Bar Kokhba, one of the most achievement of Jewishness was produced in Judah. Okay? And there is a lot of material today to show that even if the revolt was very, very difficult of Bar Kokhba, this fanatical revolt of Bar Kokhba, very quickly, in one generation, the country became flourished even before. That if the Jews didn't exile, what happened? 2 questions were put before me. What happened with the population plus? What happened with the Jew? Because they were not exiled, first of all. And how come there are so many Jews in the world? You understand me? Now, what happened with the Jewish in Judah? In Palestine, because we have to say Palestine after the Bar Kokhba revolt. What happened with the Jewish in Palestine after the revolt? What happened with the Jewish during all these years? How come that the Jewish disappeared from Palestine? You have an idea? I have. I started to look, and I found in the writings of the first Zionists the answer. You don't know, I imagine, a lot about the first Zionists. For example, Israel Belkind. He's the first guy, before Herzl, that has a Zionist arrived to Palestine. Israel Belkind. You don't know the name. But you know David Ben-Gurion? No? The young don't know who is David Ben-Gurion? David Ben-Gurion. David Ben-Gurion. No, in New York it's David Ben-Gurion. No? You know him. David Ben-Gurion